Welcome back to the Accent of Me, guys. This is Jock, and we're back with episode 17. And this episode, it was the finale, of course. I think there was a lot of things that needed to be answered, a lot of things that kind of went good, but also showed people's true colors in a lot of ways. So first, I think when you're coming to this one, we start this out and I'm just gonna go straight to the point about Shamia being an artist. I've said this before. I actually thought that the whole showcase was actually nice, and I think one thing that we have to take into consideration is that Shamia is new to this, but she was actually bringing everybody together. We know Shamia got money. We know that she has resources. We know that she's able to create a certain level of events that I think most artists don't show. So I know in my last video, my last review, I said that I definitely didn't want to see Shamia sing. I think she has a beautiful voice, and I get it that it may be something that it may be something that like it's a lucrative thing if you can get the housewives brand to back you and support your music. I don't know how far she can go being at her 40s. Not that I'm an ageist, but it definitely was something that she can make money off of. You know, a little extra purse here, a little bag here. Um, I love seeing all the girls coming. I love seeing the girls supporting. There was an air, this is just me. There's always an air about Brit that comes off like disingenuous every time. There's a, and I'm gonna go back to the PJ, but there's an air about her that just doesn't quite make sense. If that makes sense, like coming in and. I get it that you and Kelly were arguing over this whole Glam Squad thing, and you both were making these statements, and I do think that Britt took it too far. The pill popping thing was, I think that's far too. But I think the fact that Britt went on, and I'm not gonna say it's true or false what Kelly said as far as like having her tubes tied, but she said she did get her tubes tied, and I think that says a lot about Britt. That if that is true, that you would go that far. But I don't think that she actually has a limit, if that makes sense. I think that she's willing to take it wherever she needs to take it. Um, but you definitely can tell Shamia did not want to have a conversation with Britt. And that not you can tell that it was kind of one of those things that maybe from a production standpoint, production was like, hey, you need to go ahead and actually talk to Britt, and she was like, oh girl, here we go, but let me tell you something. From what there's going to be two parts to this. From what the hype was about what Britt said about her baby and what was actually given to us, there was some things that I think need to be explained. I personally think that babies are off limits. I think kids are off limits. I do not think that Britt should even have questioned if Shiloh was sick at the time. And I think that's what a lot of people were a little taken aback by. Like, okay, was this a thing of Britt saying this in a sense of was Shiloh sick in general, or was Shiloh sick at that time? And for me, it was definitely that was Shiloh sick in general. That's what it came on. Not in general, sorry. Was Shiloh sick at the time, like having a cold? What was the situation with Shiloh? So I think that was kind of, I won't say blown out of proportion, but it was definitely something that I think we should have talked about a little bit more, because people were actually taking it to the point of, oh, she was talking about her baby. I do think that was a very, very low blow for her to even, I won't say to even question, because let's be honest, she was just trying to question Shamia's mothering. Like, oh, well, you were still taking shots and you were still doing this with us. how much of your baby being sick was actually your baby being sick. And I think I'm gonna say it. I'll say it again, over and over and over again. Has have we seen that Brit's character is is exactly that. You know, like that's just who she is, and that's who she's going to show us that she is. So I don't see a reason that we should expect anything else from her. If I'm being honest, I don't think we should expect anything else from Brit. I think I really don't put a lot past this girl, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't put a lot past her. I think having that in the chamber at any given time, I think is a low blow. I think we all have, we've all been to a situation or two where we're like, we're not going to take it that far. We're never going to jump through that situation with anybody. Um, and I think just going there, it's just one of those things that you just have to realize. Moving to the PJ scene, I think if you're not going to make a purchase, I think if we're not going to see you put the money down, whatever, I think it's all for show. I think the, what was it, 30 seconds, maybe a minute or two, the minute or two that you wasted our time, Britt, going through this jet or going through this viewing of this jet, it was a waste of time to me. It was the same thing. I think was it the Rolls Royce or it wasn't a Corvette, Ferrari? Was it the Ferrari? Same thing, waste of time. Like, if you're not gonna buy it, if we're not gonna see you on the internet with it, if you're not gonna drive this, which is one thing that I used to love about the old school Housewives of Kim Zolciak when she went and dropped the money down on her car. The things that Candy has done, the things that Candy has shown us. If you're gonna do it, do it. Let us see it. Like, let's not do this all this boasting and bragging, and it's not really doing what it need to be done. So I think the whole point. I think even if on a production standpoint, if y'all were gonna say, "Oh, it was cute that we actually filmed this. It was cute that we actually do this." I don't understand why the hell y'all didn't make her buy it or do something. If you knew she didn't have the money, my thing is this: let's be honest. Most of them don't get paid the first year. The checks go crazy the second year if you're invited back. But if Britt, I think you have a wealthy husband, but I would. This would all contradict itself because aren't you getting sued by the country club for not paying the bill at the country club? So it's like you got PJ money, but you ain't got country club money. It just didn't make sense, and I think that was whack for them to show that, for them to even give us that. I don't think that that was something that we need. Side note, I'm gonna need production to start breaking the fourth wall, because I'm gonna just say this little thing. What's that? The guy name that the Phaedra's with? Her makeup being on that man's face and his nose and his forehead bothered me. And I don't know if a lot of people saw it or a lot of people, it bothered a lot of people. It bothered me so much that, for one, as a woman, she wasn't aware that she should have said, "Hey, here's the situation. I see the makeup on your forehead," or something like that. Or something, or wipe it off, or do something about it. But the fact that y'all just kind of let it be what it was going to be, that bothered me. That really, and I know it's something small, but it bothered me. Now, when we get to the gala, there's a few things that I won't say bothered me, but there were a few. Now they bothered me. It was a few things that just didn't sit right with me, and I know this whole thing is about these two. It's about these two. Um, there was a lot of backstory that we needed as viewers that they didn't give us. If you were going to have this conversation with Marcus and do what Carlos King called is a side, like a flash side, or because it's not like a flashback, it's a flash side, because it's a event that's happening, that's occurring, but we're not privy to see the whole thing. If you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to give us everything. Because at the end of the day, when you're having Angela and Drew, it was Drew. When you're having Angela and Drew sit back and have this whole thing with Marcus and how they got information out of Marcus, we need to see that. We as the viewers need to say, okay, this is what the situation was. Let us view it. Let us see what's going on so that we can make an informed decision and we can go from there. If you're just gonna give us a flash side, and move it from there, and we don't know what the hell happened, how are we supposed to have an informed opinion about if this was true? I do think that Angela has no reason to lie. She's given us time and time again that she's kind of real, she's authentic, she's not trying to hide and fake and phony from the cameras. And I can definitely see the guy telling Angela, yes, Phaedra was the one that gave me the information. But the fact that he came to the situation, he seemed out of it. He seemed like he didn't belong in this situation. Why was he there? I think it was kind of weird to even bring him amongst the crew, to even tell us what's going on. Even you can see Portia's face scrunch up, like, but just tell us who it is, like, gone. And then to kind of look at Phaedra, and then to come off with this whack excuse that she's the godfather of Atlanta or something like that. It didn't sit well with me. That didn't sit well with me for a bunch of reasons. It just felt phony. It felt fake. It felt conjured. Like they orchestrated or constructed this whole thing up. I'm not saying the girls, but maybe production. It just didn't seem genuine. Like you have him saying these things, but it's not really connecting the dots. And then what you should have did, instead of putting that PJ scene in, you should have gave us the scene with Angela, Marcus, and Drew. And another thing, I know Drew and her and Drew are cool, but what the hell Drew doing there? That's the whole thing. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna say this. Being that I lived in Atlanta, there's a lot of people that can do a lot of things. It's just somebody that could have said, I'm gonna pay you, but you said that to this person because this person, and I'm not gonna put it past Phaedra either. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm not gonna put it past Phaedra. I ain't gonna put it past Phaedra because Phaedra ass has something in the chamber too quick for Angela. So, and I get it. Portia stated that a lot of people do a lot of things as far as like send them stuff, DMs, emails, and things like that about dirt on each other. At the end of the day, this is the only thing, and I think this season was good. This is the only thing with Housewives that bothers me. If y'all gonna read. The Nenes and things didn't have to snap up bull, A read was a read at the end of the day. If we gonna read, we're gonna read. I'm reading you on what I see. I'm gonna eat you up with these words. I'm not gonna try to come for you on your house being foreclosed on when the girl has already said that she's $2 million in debt with her rental properties. So I don't think that's anything that we need to be like, oh. But the fact that when she came at you about it, that was the major. I would say that was the major thing where I would have been like, okay, that's interesting, because why would you randomly just have this in the chamber about knowing that this girl has a foreclosed home? And why would you feel that was important to actually bring out to the world? That was kind of weird to me. I do think that there was something else taking place. This was a scheme Ty set up 100%. But I think that there definitely was some truth to Marcus, but there's also some untruth. I think, and that's what we need to look at the most, is that I won't go out and say, if for me, on how she's been doing things. I like how Angela called everybody out. Kelly, it was weird that it was at your event. You ain't off the hook either, ho. But I definitely I believe Kelly. I believe Kelly that this was Brit. 100%. It comes off like a little girl game. It does. I'm going to pay you. You drop this little nugget. And I forget his name. He's a YouTuber, but he was at the event as well, and he said the guy was weird the whole time. So I think if you're putting all the pieces together, and the guy still had a friend there, so I think if you're putting all the pieces together, and come on now, Phaedra been on this show, or this show been around 16 seasons, it's not like too difficult to find some dirt on somebody. And most people from Athens, if the people from Athens move, most of them know each other. Everybody know Athens small, so it's not difficult to connect the dots. But I know that they said the guy had something to lose. I don't know if it was like SA, but I know he was like on a list, the predator list or whatever. So I don't know if that's what they was gonna air out. He does come off weird. He comes off corny. So I think that was kind of whack. But I think there's definitely something to it because they said Phaedra gave Angela the guy's information. So I think that was definitely like it could be a like get this up off me. How could I ever be the person to do it because I'm the person that gave you the information on the guy? Or it could be like I actually do know I've seen him around, which quiet as it's kept. That's kind of difficult. Not to be funny, unless it's a restaurant because he did say Charles came to the restaurant, but unless Phaedra's been to this restaurant and Phaedra know what's up, I don't see it like that. And I say that because if you're in Atlanta, you know which restaurants to go to, which bars to go to get the best service, to get the best bartenders, to get the best servers. And the fact that don't nobody else know him says much more. You know, like it's like it's a spot that one of y'all frequent. Somebody frequents this spot, and maybe you saw it, and maybe you saw it before the show, and then you saw. Maybe you did see Charles. I ain't gonna, maybe you did see Charles, or maybe you did. Maybe it was when Charles was the playboy, and you remember it, and you just knew somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody. That's what it come off as, and that's what Atlanta do. They'll come off as like, but you know who's the who. When I was there, you knew everybody knows Dwayne at what's it in Edgewood, Harold's at Harold's. Everybody knew to go to Dwayne for drinks. Funky was down there. All the housewives used to go down there. They knew who to go to. Some of the people that you see in the dude that's actually helping Phaedra's kids, he's very popular in Atlanta. Parashay, very popular in Atlanta. I saw Tyra Carter in the back. Most of them are very popular in Atlanta. They're around these groups of people for that reason. There's many times I've been to parties, pool parties, gatherings, things like that where these people are there. It's just a thing when you're in the group, you're in the crowd. But I definitely think it's something more to that, and I think that's a reason that Britt didn't come. I'm gonna just be honest. I think it was more than just what she said about Samia, what she did to Kenya, what she did to Britt. I think there was a little leprechaun in this stirring the pot, and I think it was Britt. Portia was like, I think Angela did to herself. I don't think Angela gives me a authentic as grown as woman, and I don't think she would do that. And quiet as it's kept, that's gonna be something I'm gonna talk about later, but I wouldn't believe nothing come out Portia's mouth either. To be honest, like even the whole, I'll say something before I end this video. I think it's really interesting. I'm not saying that this didn't happen. I think it's very interesting if Portia's mother and her sister did not say nothing to her about that comment that she made. And I guess she's the breadwinner. But I'm gonna go on the limb. Portia mama looked like a little Jezebel too. She looked like she do exactly what Portia did. Same thing. And I only say that because I have met a Portia, and I've met her mama, and I've met her sister. And her sister was the one that's kind of gets married and has the children and lives this low-key life and was like, I ain't got time for my mama and my sister. But that mama and that sister are the same person. I've met one. I've met a group like this before. So I think Miss Diane and Portia are the exact same person. Because I'm not going to question her mothering skills, but the mother would definitely check her daughter. Like, don't you ever say that again on TV. Don't you ever say that again. But the fact that Portia even's open to make that comment about Angela's husband, even though she apologized, it says way more about Portia than people are really, really like adding to it. It's a way more, and I think that's why Portia don't get sympathy when it comes to like the divorce and things that happen with her and Simon. So we're definitely going to be reviewing the reunion. Stay tuned. This was a very interesting episode, and I would definitely say, with that being said, I think Housewives is back. I think Housewives is 100% back. I'm happy to see Housewives back. I'm happy that they're doing their thing. Angela need to come back next season. Kelly definitely need to come back next season. Shamia need to come back. Portia need to come back. Cynthia need to keep that role. Bring Nene back. Right now is the perfect time. Bring Nene back, shake that up, and bring Kenya back too. Bring them back and shake that up. Don't invite no new girls. Whatever that girl is from Potomac, leave her where she at. Don't nobody care. Mia, don't nobody care. We don't need that. You hear me? So as always, nos vemos pronto.